Hello, and thank you for watching. Normally, I would say I greet you on the time of day, but today is a more serious topic, and that is the COVID-19 vaccination. Now, the CDC, the U.S. government, and others would like to whitewash the fact that there are serious side effects that are possible. Now, they do have side effects. They do have information that if you have uh, any serious side effects after having the first dose, not to have the second. That being said, um, the issue that I have is that this is being pushed as a viable treatment for a virus that is out, and um, this vaccine has not been tested properly. Period. Now, I knew when I um, started this stream that there would be a warning on the page because of the subject matter and because of the title. Um, they definitely do not want the information getting out there. Um, I am not saying that people shouldn't get it, but they should absolutely consider why they're getting it and if they should get it. And I am absolutely vehemently opposed to companies forcing people to get this untested, untried, unknown vaccine, or they're calling it vaccine. And greetings, Aberjam. Now, I have little doubt that there will be very few people um, who get to see this live stream, particularly live, because unfortunately, yeah, I know it's going to be throttled seriously. Aberjam, if you're able to come up, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. Um, and of course, COVID-19. Of course, the warning below the stream is COVID-19. Get the latest information from the CDC about COVID-19. And of course, in the description, I do post a link to the CDC. So I'm not posting anything that is uh, a questionable site. It is directly to the CDC, nothing less, nothing more. I'm sure I could find other websites that would go into more detail on the negative effects of the vaccine. We know two people in our community who have been negatively impacted by this vaccine, and it needs to be known. The problem is uh, people don't care. And by that I mean the people in charge don't care. Um, and there will be some serious consequences when things happen. And I do have Mr. CCTV ready backstage. Hello, Mr. CCTV. Are you? Let me see if I can hear everything hooked up. I should be hearing you. Let me look. I'm not hearing you, sir. I don't know if your mic's not working. I'm assuming mine is. I usually have in fact, I'm going to go to the um, avatar for a moment just to see. And we have Aberjam. See. Okay. And I see Aberjam knocked himself out. And Yitza Lemon says, "This is unexpected." How so, sir? The fact that I'm speaking out, the fact that governments are lying to us, yeah, maybe unexpected, but it needs to be talked about. The fact that these fucking lockdowns have increased suicides worldwide, that the virus has less effect on people than, well, granted, there have been people that have been seriously affected by it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened. However, there are also people that are being seriously affected by the vaccine itself. And that's one factor that's not being talked about. How did you fail? You were up. I heard you talking, and okay, now I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yes,
Oh, good. Okay. What I said the first time was I apologize for the background noise in advance because I'm cleaning the kitchen and getting ready to make dinner. But I think this is important, what you're saying, and so I'm here with you.
I appreciate
So I'm
that.
on my phone instead of in front of my computer. So this is crazy. I can't answer anybody's chats or anything.
It's a you are more than welcome to come up here. Uh, if you want to participate in the chat, that's great. And hey, Eric, um, and Aberjab, what's up?
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Aberjam.
Hello. I'm opinionated when it comes to the whole plague issue. So yeah, I don't know how restrictive you want to be on what to talk about because I know YouTube can be pretty
Not restrictive.
uh, heavy-handed.
Fuck restrictive. I don't care what they do to the stream. I don't give two shits about it.
um, well, I'm of the opinion that the government have lied to us from day one on this thing, and it's at the point where it doesn't matter if they're telling the truth or not. I can't tell from them whether they're telling the truth or not. So I'd rather distrust them than trust them, frankly.
Well, okay. Let me put it to you this way. Do I believe there's a conspiracy? Yes. We are in over a year and a half of a 2-week lockdown. And governments are saying, oh, we're going to try to open things up. And then all of a sudden, a new Delta variant shows up. So what are they going to do? They're going to shut back down. I'm sorry. No. No.
It's going to be there's going to be all the way in the fall because, it's the cold weather and, it's going to be this every year. Like next year, they're going to let up the restrictions a bit sooner, it'll be like May, June, and then come September, October, they'll be doing lockdowns again. It'll just be this for like 5 years and it'll just be slightly less restrictions each year, you know. It's
I
for my money. It's all about power grab. It's been a massive economic shift. It's been all about taking out the working mass and putting it into 1%. It's a lot of it is condition control. I don't think no such thing. I don't think that the vaccine don't work. I'm just saying that the whole place is nowhere near as bad as they've been painting it out to be.
No.
To show that straight from the horse's mouth from the CDC, the WHO, the British Health Organization, after about 8 to 10 months, they all started coming clean, saying, "Oh, we did actually a lot of COVID deaths to just people who died with causes but had COVID in their systems, or who had previously had COVID in their systems, which had since cleared off." So, even by their own admission, they were lied to us from day one. A lot of us knew that from day one anyway. But even those who were calling us conspiracy nuts now are having to look at the facts and say, well, actually, maybe the conspiracy nuts are right. So I don't trust anyone. And on that principle, I'm not getting the jab. I'm in the vulnerable bracket. But I'm putting money where my mouth is. It has a very, very, very low mortality rate, even unvaccinated. And I just don't think it's worth it giving up all of these freedoms, for the sake of a very highly survivable condition.
I agree. The only reason I got it was I was encouraged to get it so that I could have the surgery I need. Would I have gotten it for any other reason? No. I don't believe that this vaccine is as safe and effective as they're saying. As I said, we know 2 people in our community who have been negatively impacted by the vaccine itself.
My uncle was actually hospitalized when he got the booster shot. The second, you got to get the primer and then the booster, right?
Right.
He was actually hospitalized because it affected him so badly. I've refused the shot ever since it came out. I've actually had to refuse 2 job offers because I refused to get the shot.
Yeah, that's going to be the real tough thing going forward. Is a lot of employers are going to be, if nothing else, to cover their asses, are going to be requiring that their employees get vaccinated and have proof of vaccination. That's going to be an uphill struggle for about the next 5 years until we see which way opinion is swinging. If people refuse to go to work because they don't want to take this employee mandated vaccination, then employers might start backing up and saying, well, we need people, so we'll lift our demand for vaccinations. But it's going to be a long road back. A long road.
Oh, it will be a long road back. We knew that from the beginning. When they first started shutting everything down, we knew it would be a long road back.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that the economy is going to crash. We just don't know when. So the draconian measures are actually screwing us over. But again, as a conservative Christian, I have to look at this as an end times prophecy. But, we're not going to get into that. I'm not talking about microchips in the serum or anything like that. That's not why I refuse to get the shot. I already have respiratory problems. I already have, pain and tingling in my legs. I don't need to have that shot to screw me over even more.
Yeah, but Captain's absolutely right. When he opened up the video, it's not about berating anyone for taking the vaccine or berating anyone for not taking the vaccine. The important thing is to seek medical advice and figure out what you feel is best for you.
I have
I'm
a
going to call
question.
Yeah.
What was Biden's announcement? Because I haven't heard anything about it. I don't even watch the news, so anyone who can tell me anything about that would be good.
I heard about it a few days ago, but again, that was a few days ago, and I don't really know what the press release was. just that the vid is worse now because there's a variant out there.
Oh, we're not calling
You know
anything.
what?
It's COVID-19. No. We're not going to pussyfoot around this. This is an honest and open discussion. Look at the title of this stream.
I know, but I've been saying the vid for a year and a half. It's really hard to get past it.
My best guess what Phantoms is talking about is that Biden early this week announced that he was mandating vaccinations for all federal workers.
Well, Biden can go fuck himself if he thinks that's going to happen.
The U.S. Postal Service, the union for the U.S. Postal Service, is already striking, saying they're not going to be mandated a COVID vaccine.
And just to be clear, I don't care if it's a Republican or Democrat who's saying this shit. Doesn't matter. Political office doesn't mean shit. I don't care. This is not a political thing. This is a freedom thing. And we are losing our freedoms very quickly.
Agreed.
Very quickly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw this coming 30 years ago, but I didn't actually expect it to happen in my lifetime.
And hello, Bitter Prey 5.
Hello, world. It's Birdo Prey 5. Kapla. Hey, Cap. Well, good to see you on camera.
Well, this is a serious discussion, so I thought it was time to get on camera and actually talk. Because, quite honestly, I'm tired of it. You know, I'm tired of the cover-ups. I'm tired of the lies. They're making sure that these side effects are, rare. They're saying there are rare exceptions. Well, they need to actually say what the exceptions are, and I can't. For some reason, Bird's thing went cuckoo.
Well, the only exception that I know of offhand by personal experience is respiratory. So if COVID is causing respiratory distress and the vaccine is causing respiratory distress, I know I can recover from COVID. I don't know if I can recover from the vaccine. Because there's not enough testing. It hasn't been out there long enough.
No. The very fact that Bird had a heart issue after the first one. Yeah, that's a serious issue. The fact that Gary, rock solid, had a problem after the vaccine. Yeah, that's a problem. He has Bell's palsy now. This is not something to be taken lightly.
I think it's important just to note at this moment in time, there's no definitive.
Hold on, let me interrupt just for a second. Can you guys hear the water running?
Yes.
Okay, I'll turn my microphone off.
At this moment in time, there is no definitive proof as to what has caused rock solid's Bell palsy. They suspect it's the prime suspect is perhaps medications or a combination of medications, but they don't have a finger on it yet. So I think it would be a little unfair to suggest or even to imply it's because of his COVID vaccine. It may be, but we don't know.
Do I have definitive proof that it is? No.
No.
Do I believe it is? Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
Well, we don't know, but when you look at the biggest, most common complications being reported to the federal government from the vaccine, heart myopia, or whatever the hell I have, and Bell's palsy are at the top two. So is it coincidence? It could be, but there's only so many coincidences one can accept before you say, okay, this is more than coincidence.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me telling a story real quick, Captain Trek.
Go.
My father died 20 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
25 years ago, he had a serious infection, and they had to use seriously strong antibiotics on him in order to cure it. And then his multiple sclerosis began, right? So he was in his mid 30s,
Right.
right? And I had methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus, MRSA,
Right.
in 2005, and in 2006, my multiple sclerosis began. So, is there a causal relationship? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't do that stuff. Is it an anecdotal relationship? I think it is. And so I refused the vaccine because there's not enough data on it. That's all there is to it. But that was a personal choice I made.
Right.
Because I'm already sick enough. I don't need to get sicker.
No. My reason for doing this is not to how do I say this? I am not telling you whether to have the vaccine or not. I'm telling you, you need to be informed. You need to be informed. They even have the information on the CDC's own website about, complications. There are things that they suggest. If you are allergic to these ingredients, don't have the vaccine. If you do this, don't have the vaccine. So there is stuff on their own website telling people who should and should not have it. So my point is, I don't trust the CDC, to be quite honest. I don't. But if they have it on their own website and YouTube is putting the CDC's website up, go to their website. Check it out for yourself. Find out the truth. Because we're not being told the whole truth. We never will be. Ever.
Can't handle the truth.
No, they can't handle us knowing the truth.
And to be fair, there's a small precedent for that. I mean, the great TP shortage of 2020. Imagine if the government officially announced that aliens are among us. I mean, you see how we reacted when people said, "Oh, there might be a bit of toilet paper shortage." So people as a en masse, people can be very hyperactive and panicky, and yeah.
And Mr. CCTV Shellback asked, were you sent a letter from the VA in regard to getting the jab? And sorry, I was just about to let you in. Whatever, I can't think.
I was both phone called and sent a letter. So yes, I was given all of the opportunity, and it was free for me. I know a lot of people have to pay for it. It was free for me, but I refused it. I just told them I wasn't going to take it, and they said,
It's
"Okay,
free
you just
for
have to
everyone
wear a
in the
mask
United
every time you
States.
come into the VA." I'm like, okay.
Just so you know, it's free for everyone.
Oh, is
in
it
the
really?
United States, yeah.
yes.
Oh,
Nobody's
that hurts
in
my
charge.
heart. It doesn't hurt my heart that it's free, but it hurts my heart that it's free because. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not.
It's free because it's better for everyone. The more people who get it.
Supposedly.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Supposedly. I think it's overhyping the situation. I think that this whole Delta variant is bullshit, and we need to just say fuck it. We're opening up everything again, and be ready. Yes, there are going to be people who need to go in the hospital. Absolutely.
Now,
Get this out of the way and be done with it.
Take, for instance, a little town like mine. We have 8,000 permanent residents, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't even have a stop light. We have stop signs. That's all we have. I love my little town. Absolutely love it. Adore it to death. We, the permanent residents, don't wear masks. But it is a tourist town. And every tourist coming in, they show their vaccination card when they walk into the store, and they're still wearing a mask, and we just go,
Well, why? I don't understand why you'd laugh.
Well, the statistics for our little town, with every tourist coming through, and we've got 500,000 tourists coming through every year. The statistics for our little town on this particular virus, the COVID-19, are lower than the national numbers.
But regardless of what
you can
the numbers are, the numbers while wearing a mask are even lower.
Well, that's fine, but still we laugh at them. That's all. I have the small town mentality. Like, okay, I've lost lots of family members. Do I want to lose more? Obviously, I don't. But I have, and I will. But I don't think that these draconian measures that are going on, mandated by the CDC, are a good thing. I don't think they are a good thing, period.
I agree completely. I am absolutely opposed to being forced to wear masks by anyone. Now, do I choose to wear it when I go out to the hospital because they have the requirement? Yes. Am I going to once the requirement is lifted? No, because I had the vaccine, and I'm fine right now. And I refuse to live under these ridiculous rules. The masks need to go off. The lockdowns need to go away. We need to get back to real life. Jobs open up. Businesses open up.
The jobs are open. Nobody wants to take them because they're making more money on unemployment.
Yeah, and Biden says, well, the small businesses just need to pay more. Well, it's not as simple as just raising minimum wage by $50, because people right now are getting paid $15 an hour to stay at home. So to incentivize them out of their home, you have to pay them at least $25 an hour.
Right. I was actually going to apply for a job where I was going to be a community caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
Because the small towns around me, Williams, Ash Fork, places like that, need caregivers because all the caregivers are staying home.
Yeah.
Now, they're getting a lot more money on unemployment than they would if they were working. However, I am not willing to get the shot, so I cannot be hired as a caregiver. So it's my personal choice. I do not want to get the shot, period.
Right.
Yeah, and Bruce is just saying in the chat, I was going to bring it up this week. Bruce Hunt say we should consent for people who can't prove to be vaccinated.
And to answer your question, Showback, the link is pinned at the top. You are more than welcome to join.
Am I roboting, buddy?
Yeah, you are. You're starting to robot.
Okay, I'll duck out, let the panel grow, and I'll trim the sidelines.
I appreciate that you're here. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. I'll see you in chat.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I was just honing my knife. I didn't want people to go, what the hell is he doing? So, I'm getting ready to make tomatillo salsa. I love me some tomatillo salsa. Anyway, let me see. You know, when my brother had a stroke, I had to move to Phoenix, right? And so I lived there for a while. My mother had pulmonary arterial sclerosis, right? So the arteries in her lungs were hardening, not her heart, her lungs, and so she couldn't breathe. She was on oxygen constantly, all that stuff. Yep. My sister came down to visit from Alaska, where she lives, and she brought COVID-19 into the house. Now, I'm immunocompromised, right? Multiple sclerosis. My mother, of course, is, respiratory compromised because she has PSH or PAH or whatever the hell they call it, right? Neither one of us got it. Neither one of us got it. So it's not a universally infectious disease, period. Because she had to have had it for 2 weeks before I took her to the hospital. According to everything I've read, it's a 14-day incubation period. And everyone you come into contact with in 14 days is going to have it. But no, none of us did. I took her to the emergency room because she had it and had complications and ended up with pneumonia. She was there for 3 days. We couldn't visit her. But I went and picked her up. My mom and I, neither one of us got it. We both, well, until the day she died, we both still tested negative.
Right.
So it's not universally infective. It's not. But this vaccine that they are trying to mandate is universally detrimental to many, many people. A lot more people. It's more detrimental to many people than it is the disease that it's trying to prevent.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my opinion. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lab technician. So I can't say for sure, but it seems to me that it's more detrimental to the people who are getting the shot, because I've known more people hospitalized because of the shot than I've known people hospitalized for the disease.
Yes, we've known people that have been hospitalized because of it. That's not in doubt.
Oh, it's not in doubt. I've known 2 people that were hospitalized for the disease.
Right.
I've known 12 people that were hospitalized because of the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Take that for what you think it's worth. I don't care. I'm not taking the damn vaccine, period. I don't care if I never work again.
Yeah, they're not even talking. This is exactly the case. It's not about immunity. It's about control. Yeah. Is this talk conspiracy? Well, we're in.
It's not conspiracy. I'm not blaming anyone for this.
Oh no,
What I'm
we're
saying,
into it.
I'm
We're
giving.
into over a year and a half shutdown for a 2-week shutdown period.
I am simply giving anecdotal evidence that I have witnessed for a year and a half. That's all I'm doing. I'm not blaming anyone or conspiring or saying that someone's conspiring against me. All I'm saying is the anecdotal evidence does not match what they're telling us in the media. But that, again, that's my personal experience. So take that for what it's worth.
And hello, Showback. I'm sorry. What's going on?
So yeah, here, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So here's my letter, right? Here's my letter from the VA. And what irritates me is the fact that they play upon my, sense of duty and patriotism
Right.
in order to convince me to get the fucking jab. Okay.
Yes, I read the first paragraph of that letter and threw it away.
And
I was so angry. I need to
mute.
I need to rinse these tomatillos. Hold on.
What's irritating?
I mean, carry on. I'll listen.
What's irritating is the fact that, we've been hearing about all this misinformation stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, right here in this very letter, it's like the next to the last sentence on the second paragraph. It's like, it says the 3 vaccines available in the United States have been extensively studied. That's bullshit. Okay. And are proven to be safe, which is also bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Because on the news, okay, and not just Fox, but CNN, MSNBC, all the freaking, liberal freaking, all the mainstream media, the liberal media, whatever you want to say, right? We've heard stories about the Johnson and Johnson one is in trouble because it was giving people blood clots. And the other 2, the ones that use the mRNA shit, right, can cause your immune system to attack your own body.
Yeah.
Just like fucking HIV and AIDS does.
Oh my goodness, you mean multiple sclerosis? Well, I've already got it, so I might as well take that vaccine, right? Yeah. Look, my sister took the vaccine. And you know what I took her to the hospital for? Pneumonia, obviously, but she didn't know she had pneumonia until the blood clot got into her lung. But she had the vaccine, so she was safe, right?
Right.
I mean,
granted, like it says, proven to be safe and effective. Well, not completely. And I understand that there are, there have been plenty of people out there that have gotten fucking jabbed and they're fine. You even have, which, take whatever a politician says with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got politicians and other people on the news. Oh yeah, I've gotten the jab and I'm fine. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that there's not people that aren't going to be just fine, but at the same time, it's like, this mandate thing that the current administration seems to be on. I'm sorry. You know, if I don't feel like having my fucking DNA fucked with, and I don't feel like I don't feel like catching a blood clot either. You know, so
I am not saying do not get the jab. I am not saying that. If you want to get the jab, get the jab. I don't care.
Right.
I'm not going to get it. That's all. And I do wonder, just out of curiosity, not out of a conspiracy, I do wonder how many people in the administration have actually gotten the jab.
yeah. Well,
I really am curious about that.
There are, and there are video clips, on the internet where you can, that shows people, getting the jab, but they're not really getting the jab because you can, they do fucking close-ups and you can tell that, either they're not even fucking penetrating the skin or, I mean, I not to sound like a freaking conspiracy theorist, but I could totally entertain the idea of somebody just having a little freaking saline shot into them and be like, yep,
Right.
Yep, it was
Look, I got the jab.
It was the jab,
It's perfectly safe. Everybody's fine. Take the jab.
But yeah, and I mean, I've had my doubts and suspicions from the get-go because it's like, oh well, if you're here, you don't need a mask. But if you go in this, but if you go into the store or whatever, you got to have a mask, and and it's like, how the fuck, pardon my French, how the fuck is a freaking virus, like, oh, well, no, you're outside, I can't catch up to you, but by God, if you go inside, if you go into a fucking store or if you go into a damn church, I've got your ass. It's like...
one of the funniest things, and I've said this before, I'm sure, one of the funniest things I've ever seen was a guy riding his own bicycle down the street by himself wearing his mask. And I just went, I'm done.
I've seen people in cars with windows up, like I'm sure they've had the AC on or something, because you got to have some freaking ventilation, but in a car by themselves with the windows up wearing a mask, and
right.
It's like what it's like, are you going to give it to yourself?
But this isn't about wearing the mask, you can wear the mask if you want to. People are still wearing masks in grocery stores or tourist shops or whatever, I don't care. Wear the mask if you want to. I'm not going to.
You can
until they make it mandatory again, then I will. But
dude, okay.
Oh, they're going to make it mandatory again.
Right. Alaska fucking Airlines. I don't know if any of you. It's probably you'd probably see commercials more if you're on the West Coast like me, because Alaska Airlines is based out of Seattle. But Alaska Airlines did this freaking damn, coof commercial, with the masks, set to the music of the fucking safety dance,
The safety dance is your chance to wear the mask.
But it's like, you can fly if you want to, but and then it's like, but if you don't mask, then you can't fly this airline, and it's like,
that's fine. Any company is willing to put or is allowed to put any restrictions on whatever they want to do. I don't care. Does that mean I'll frequent that company?
Right.
Now, if it's federally mandated and I have to go grocery shopping, obviously I'm going to go to Safeway and go grocery shopping, right? I have no choice. I will wear a mask when I'm required to.
Right.
Right.
I still don't think it's... Anyway, I don't think it's effective. Even Fauci said it wasn't effective, and then he doubled back on himself and was like, "Oh, wear 2 masks." You know what? Up yours, dude. Really?
Fauci is a fucking quack. Okay, I don't give a shit who you are. And in my humble opinion, Fauci is a fucking quack. Okay, because and if if you do a little bit of research, you can find out that he was involved with the whole fucking AIDS epidemic back in the fucking 80s, right? And we all know how that went.
Well, that was a conspiracy too, don't you know?
But Jesus fucking.
Anyway, but no, as far as the vaccine is concerned, I don't think it's even effective, let alone do I think it's safe. I mean, my sister had the vaccine and she ended up with COVID and a blood clot. So do I think it's effective? No, I don't. Do I think it's safe? No, I don't.
Yeah. Supposedly the Texas, those Texas Democrats, right? That fucking turned tail and fucking ran, to fucking DC, right? To keep the Texas legislature from voting on some fucking the voting bill shit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And all of them were supposedly fucking jabbed, right? Half a dozen of them fucking end up getting the fucking coof.
And
I'm not going to say that they weren't jabbed. I'm just saying it's likely they weren't. Because they knew. They knew. Come on.
And dude, seriously, I hope the damn governor of Texas fucking throws them under the freaking bus, the jail, whatever.
Well, that's the thing is
he can't actually put them in jail, but they can be, according to Texas freaking state law, those people can be arrested and forced to come back to the freaking Capitol, into the fucking chambers, so they will be present for the fucking vote, right? Like basically, do your fucking job. They can be forced to do their damn job.
Or they can be removed, right? Yeah.
And
a lot of states have that same thing.
But it's like, oh my god. Anyway. And just for the record, I am not a registered, in any political party. Okay, so I don't.
I am, and I bet you guys can guess
what. I'm not a
what.
Republican. I'm not a Democrat. Nothing. I am unaffiliated with any political party. So, disclaimer.
Yeah. Keep disclaiming. No.
Yes.
I am, and I'm sure you guys can guess which party I'm affiliated with, but this is not a party matter. This is a safety matter, and
well, I mean, you talk to certain people, and it's practically a fucking uniparty anyway, but because I mean there's Republicans, and then there's Democrats, and then there's rhinos who might as well fucking be Democrats because they're a bunch of fucking pussies.
Hey, now I'm a centrist, all right? Let me have my centrist points of view. But I don't identify as a rhino. Just saying.
Well, you know what rhino stands for, right?
Not really.
Republican in name only.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah.
No, I'm a centrist. That's all.
But anywho, I didn't mean to come in here and take over your damn stream.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm sure people were tired of me talking all the time. Seriously, this is a discussion. That's why I'm opening it to a panel. I want people to come up and discuss. Now, there are going to be people, Bird for one disagrees with me. That's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to change my mind, but I don't like him any less.
Right.
Just because he's
Doesn't
wrong.
mean we're not going to be friends, right?
Absolutely.
So,
and by the way, the fact that they, finagled you into getting the jab so you can get this freaking surgery is bullshit.
I agree.
You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have had to have gotten a vaccine in order to get a fucking operation done on you.
And I'm still having problems getting it. Yeah.
That is true. If you had to,
I hope and pray that you don't have any ill effects.
I do too.
God forbid you had a heart attack or something, right? And you went to the emergency room. They would not stop wheeling you into the operating room to say, "Oh, did you have your shot, by the way?" They would give you the shot after the surgery when they put the stents in. Right? But they wouldn't stop wheeling you into the surgery because your life needs to be saved.
I was asked over the phone, and I was like, "No, thank you."
Anyway, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. I just don't feel good about what's happening around this vaccine. Not the vaccine itself. I don't care about the vaccine. I really don't. I mean, if it works, great. But like I said, anecdotal evidence to me in my personal life shows that it is worse than the virus. So why would I get it?
Right. You shouldn't have to get it.
No.
If you don't want it, you have the right to say no.
Exactly. As long as I still have the right to say no. Now, if I am denied essential services because I said no, well, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yes, that's a big problem.
It's time for a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
To the best of my knowledge, that has not happened here in the United States. Now, okay, yes, Captain Trek.
Right.
Yeah, you had to have the virus, or you had to have the vaccine in order to get the surgery, but the surgery was planned well in advance, and unfortunately, they can make rules like that. But if I were to go to the emergency room, and they actually literally asked me, "Okay, your appendix is burst. We need to do the surgery right now, but have you had the vaccine?" That's denial of essential services. And to my knowledge, they have not done that in the United States yet.
Yeah. Well,
they're trying to.
Trying to what?
They're trying to get rid of all our rights.
Yeah.
Well, that's a discussion for a different time, but yeah, I think this is, well, it may be one of the starting points. So yeah, maybe it is essential to this discussion. And that's up to you. I mean, you're hosting it, so you get to decide. I don't think that's the case. Well, no, okay. I did say earlier that I saw this coming 30 years ago. Would you like to know why?
Yes, I would.
In California, 30 or so years ago, they required that motorcyclists wear helmets. I was 12, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe 14, whatever the case may be, but that was the very first thing I saw that just hit me the wrong way. Like, okay, I get it. You're trying to keep people safe.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But, educate people. Tell people that you should wear a helmet. And if they choose not to, well, that's their freedom. They can choose not to. But California made it a law that you were required to wear a helmet. Now, you can't get a motorcycle license unless you're an adult. That's all there is to it. So if you are an adult, a free-thinking over 18 or 21 person in the United States, you should be able to choose to die in a motorcycle accident because you're not wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
But they made it a law in California. I was not okay with that when I was 14. I'm not okay with it now.
No, that should not be a law.
Now, one thing I am glad that they did require was the manufacturers of vehicles to put in seatbelts. No.
That's fine. Absolutely, yes. I would not want to buy a vehicle without seatbelts. Now, I've grown up with seatbelts. I mean, I learned how to drive with seatbelts, so it wasn't a big deal for me, but for my mom and dad, oh, they were furious. They literally had to install seatbelts in their car so that they would not get pulled over and ticketed for not wearing one.
Right.
They were absolutely furious.
Actually, the best seat belts are the four-way, like the race car drivers.
Right,
Yeah.
the 5-point harness.
5-point harness, yeah.
Yep.
But they're not requiring those, are they? No.
Oh, no.
No, which they should.
They only require a belt of some kind, which ended up being lap belts for most vehicles for a long time.
Well, I mean, they've had freaking lap belts in vehicles for.
Oh, since the 60s. Yeah.
No, before that, dude.
Tucker, I think, was the first automobile that had safety belts.
Yeah.
And they were
lap
belts.
It's no, hardly anybody used them.
Right.
When they first got put in, I mean, hell, I remember, I was, I was born in 71, so I'm 50, right?
Right.
And grew up in the 80s, so I'm old enough to remember when we would, sometimes we'd have our seatbelt on, sometimes we wouldn't, and we'd make the joke of, it's like, I don't want to wear my seatbelt. I prefer to be thrown, free and clear of the crash site,
Yeah.
Mountains of Elysium, I agree completely. I agree completely. Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question. What are the current rates in Ireland there? And I don't only mean COVID. I'm talking like all the other things, especially like suicide, because I know for a while they were up like 400% above normal.
I don't know.
Hello.
So like runs with phantoms is like lap belt plus collision equals 9 injury, don't it? Well, that people have received bodily injury from from the shoulder belt style as well. So I mean and it's not it's not super common, but at the same time it's still it's still possible. Just like it's possible to be injured by the airbag.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Like they and there's instructions, like on the there should be like a thing on the sun visor or something, or and definitely in the in the owner's manual of your car, but you know, you need to have like a certain distance between you and the steering wheel. And but yet at the same time, like you don't want to be too far back, right? Because that's actually, you know, that's bad as well. But you don't want to be too close. But you know, you can be you know, perfectly close enough to the steering wheel and still be far enough back to where the airbag won't injure you.
Yeah.
Because I sit, you know, I sit fairly close to my steering wheel because, you know, I want to, you know, I want to have a, you know, a bend in my elbow and my knees as well, you know.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about when, you know, you shouldn't sit too far back because, you know, you need to have a little bit of a bend in your, you know, in your knees and elbows.
Yeah, I've seen people drive like this, and it's like,
yeah.
What? No.
But
yeah, well, that's a load of fun. But real quick, because I don't got much time, I just want to throw my left turn into this conversation. You know how I am about laws and my thoughts about laws. That's besides the point. Mr. CCDV, I want to have a voice for those who heard what you said and basically banged their head up against the wall. You can't be for seatbelts and against helmets. People don't drive a motorcycle without a helmet to kill themselves. That isn't the actual goal. You're like, well, I have the right to die. No. You have the right to live. You get on that motorcycle thinking that you're going to survive when you get to your destination. If you don't wear a helmet, you're a fucking moron. And whether or not I agree or not with the law, you should wear a helmet. It saves more lives than it does the opposite way around. Yes. And if your mother ever found out that you rode a dangerous motorcycle without a helmet, she would make you would want to wear a helmet in the house because she'll beat your ass over the head so damn hard for doing it. It'll hit you in the next tomorrow. So please, let's have a little common sense here, guys. And please, wear your helmet.
That's what I said.
So
if you're dumb enough to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, by all means, go ahead.
Okay.
If you're dumb enough to drive a car without a decent seatbelt, go ahead. I don't care.
Here's the devil's advocate,
okay.
LDG, right? Then you know why aren't we required to have a helmet on when we're inside of a car? Because you know
because the car is your helmet.
Well,
the whole point is the motorcycle. You don't have anything covering that cranium of yours.
Lost a friend in high school to that mistaken idea.
There's shit in the car that you can hit your head on.
Yeah,
right?
That's what the seatbelt's for.
The steering wheel, the dash, the
that's
roof.
what the airbag's for.
Dude, like I just said, the airbag can fucking injure you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's because people misuse their airbags, and there's big fat lettering in the cars that tell you how far you should sit back from your vehicle. Yeah, it literally tells you do not cross your hands on the steering wheel. You got instructions. This is the reason why we have little tickets on. And yeah, exactly. People don't follow the rules. Now that's a different story, and you can't change common sense because people want to be stupid. This is the reason why we have that little tag on an ironing board that says "Do not iron while clothes is on." Right. Why? Because people iron their clothes while they're wearing it.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah,
like I said, though, you can still be injured by the car itself when you're in it.
You can have a heart attack in the car, absolutely. But I'm not going to give up safety procedures because of the small percentages that hurt themselves.
Dude,
if my kid rides his car without a seatbelt, he's going to make sure he wishes he wore one.
I know you guys are tired of hearing me say this, but the quote by Robert Heinlein when he said, stupid will take care of itself.
Well, here's the thing, though. A lot of those helmets, right, that people wear on a motorcycle, pretty much about the only thing they're going to do is keep your freaking brains from being spread down the fucking highway.
That's so true.
Yeah, keep them inside your skull. It saved my life when an asshole slammed on his brake. And I did a Matrix 360 spin off my moped and landed in the middle of the street.
But I mean, you know, you got the ones that look like the damn, you know, the German helmet, right, style.
Right.
You know that,
Look,
that a lot
I
of
would,
that a lot of the
I
Harley
would
riders wear.
never,
That
I
thing
would
ain't gonna
never
protect
ride
you
a
from getting your
motorcycle
jaw
without a
ripped
helmet.
off, you know, so it just I'm not saying
So better than nothing.
I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to wear a helmet, but I ain't gonna call somebody fucking stupid for not wearing a helmet while riding their motorcycle.
I will.
I don't.
I'll do it any
Like
day
I
of the week.
said,
If you don't wear your helmet, you're
just-
stupid.
I just don't care if they wear one or not. I really don't. Like I said,
Someone prove me wrong. Give me a reason why I can't. Why that's not stupid not to wear a helmet, and I'll agree with you. You'll change my mind. I will agree with you, and I'll apologize.
I'm not saying it.
You're
Go
taking
ahead.
more of a
Keep
risk
arguing.
for sure. Okay, it's definitely more of a risk to be out there amongst all the freaking vehicles, right? Without a helmet on, because you know it doesn't matter how good of a motorcycle rider you are. You know, you can't control the fucking
Other people. Yes, agreed.
SUV behind you or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But
not only that either, too,
Here's
right?
the reason, LDG.
Yeah, what's
Some
up?
people
time,
drive
I'm
a
not gonna try and
motorcycle
take- if there's
because
not a
they
helmet
want
law,
to die.
like in Florida, I believe in Florida
Yeah,
they don't.
you're
they
absolutely
don't have a
correct, and
helmet
I'll
law.
apologize to them after they die and come see me.
Right. Well, the people in Florida, you know, that don't have a helmet law, right? I'm not gonna try and freaking take away their freedom to not have a helmet, you know, just to say, well, you know, you're gonna die, you know, like so.
Right.
You know,
Okay. So
you know,
I will admit.
are we gonna have safety or are we gonna have freedom?
I will admit to
let's
using
take
poor
that
language when I said that, okay? I admit to using poor language. I just don't care if you wear a helmet or you wear your seatbelt or anything. I don't care.
And that's the problem.
Because you are not me.
Yes, well, technically I am
to wear
you,
my
but yeah.
seatbelt. I am going to wear my seatbelt. If ever I ride a motorcycle, I will wear a helmet.
I hear you, CCTV. I love it when people try to use that against me. Well, you are not me. Well, yeah, actually, I am you. You're me. That's my belief. So that doesn't work with me. I don't want to see you dead because you don't wear a helmet, dude. Now, you want to fix it? This is how you fix it. You get into the future and you get some technology.
Yeah, but
so the second you fly out of your...
use that for anything. It's just stay out of people's lives. I usually, well, I don't want to see you eat that because I don't want to see you die. Well, you know,
right.
Somebody
don't eat that hamburger.
I don't want to see you eat, you know, hot wings because it's not good for you. Well,
I don't want to see you eat the atomic gummy bear.
Hot wings are good for you. What are you talking about?
No, they're not good for you.
Eating food is good for you, Bird.
Not all food.
Wow. Okay, so you are picking and choosing now. We were even
eating
the ones
food is good for you. If it's nutritious food, chicken is good for you. Natural made hot sauce is good for you. Capsaicin is wonderful for the veins.
You think fried chicken?
Now, if you're talking about poison, is different. Yeah, chicken is good for you.
Now
what am I in the Twilight Zone?
If a person is allergic to it or not.
Yeah, for that person, yes. And if I'm not allergic to it, then it's good for me.
Hot wings are not a health food. I don't care what.
Any food that keeps you alive is health food.
No.
You're talking about if you're diabetic, overweight, obese food. I'm talking about average, normal person, healthy person can eat hot wings and actually grow from it. Their body will actually grow from eating hot wings. It won't die. They won't get cancer. They won't freaking be in the hospital for 5 weeks. Their body will eat that food and grow from it. So don't tell me it's bad. Now, if you eat hot wings every single day for 5 years straight, yeah, okay, maybe you're going to have a cholesterol problem or something like that. But that goes for anything. You eat salad too much, you can die. You drink too much water, you can die.
Well, the thing about eating...
Now, I'm willing to entertain any comments, Bird, but you got to meet me halfway with some common sense.
Here's the thing about eating hot wings every day, though. Your butthole will be very pissed at you, okay? I'm just saying.
And some people like a burned asshole. But I mean, that's not me, though. Anyway, needless to say, I don't think it should be law. I just didn't like the way you mentioned it, the way you said it, CCTV. I just wanted to get my little 2 cents in there. I don't mean to trigger anybody. Well, actually, I kind of do, but entertainingly. I don't think it should be law. But I think, listen, if it shouldn't be law. You shouldn't force somebody to do something. But at the same time, that person should have been brought up to understand the importance of wearing a helmet when you're on a motorcycle that has no other safety. Now, the second we are in the future and you can get to a car accident and there's a device that stops time and the flash comes in and grabs you into safety, guaranteed every single time, then yeah, no helmet with the motorcycle because you have a backup that will save your life if you get into an accident. Until we get to that point,
man.
yeah, Demolition Man, where like foam just keeps going out everywhere and you're always safe, then yeah, no wearing helmets. But until we have a backup, right now, this is what it sits. You're in a motorcycle, you get into an accident, your head is most likely in the pavement. There is nothing to save you except for a helmet. Until that changes, wear a freaking helmet.
I believe that should be a personal choice, not a law.
Yes.
Okay, let me say this. Let me say this. I'm going to say this right now.
I'm done.
Since cars, and then we're going to get off of this discussion and back onto the real one. Since cars are required to be sold with seatbelts, motorcycles should be required to be sold with helmets. If the person chooses to use it or not is up to them. They can have consequences on their insurance if they don't.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
have a
how it is in Florida. You get free motorcycle insurance as long as you wear you don't have to have motorcycle insurance as long as you wear a helmet in Florida. That's how they have it set up. It's not against the law. You won't get pulled over, but you have to have insurance if you don't wear a helmet, which I think that's double-edged blade, but that's the way it is here in Florida.
Hey,
I have no problem with that. Not one bit. You know, if you are required to have insurance regardless, which you only have to have liability for the most part, right? So you are taking care of the person you run into if you're at fault for the accident, right? So I don't have a problem with that because you are required to take care of that person. I've been hit with someone without insurance before, and it is not pleasant going through all that legal rigmarole. So I'm okay with that.
Hey, Captain
Although
Trek.
it's expensive.
Yes, Shellback.
You might be onto something there, because I mean, damn, if I spend like $20,000 on a freaking Harley Davidson, a free helmet would be nice. Okay,
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, it won't be free. It won't be free, Shellback.
It'll be
no, of course not.
It definitely won't be free. But then I also think they shouldn't force it. Like if I want a special helmet that's better than the helmet they're trying to get me, it shouldn't be force them to supply. It should force them to make sure the buyer can show proof they have a helmet. That way I can buy whatever helmet I want and not the piece of shit, low grade, cutting corners bullshit I'm sure you're going to find motorcycle companies selling people.
Well, no, I'm sure that
that's exactly what's going to happen.
I'm sure they would have a variety, you know.
No, they don't. What makes you think that, Shellback? How many times have we been forced to get something and you get the cheapest piece of crap that just barely covers the requirement from these companies who are forced to do this?
Because you have a selection of freaking motorcycles to buy, so any good dealership would also have a selection of helmets for you to choose from.
Correction. Yes, you're absolutely right. Good dealerships. So out of the 100 shitty dealerships, there's one good dealership. You're absolutely right. I went down, go to Orlando. Do you know how many motorcycle companies there are selling motorcycles? There's like this one road where there's like 6 of them back to back. They're not all good. Now, I'm with you. I agree with you. But unfortunately, in the real world, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. I wish it would. I'd be on board with you, bro. Totally on board with you. But you have those cheap motorcycle companies that think different kinds of helmets means the same helmet, but one with Spider-Man on it and another one with the flaming crossbows. Just a different decal. Like they won't have quality helmets. I'm telling you, they're going to do it.
If
It's
I'm
good
not
quality.
mistaken, it's called buyer beware.
Yeah, it should be the other way around. It should be seller beware. It's we the people, not we the corporation.
Well, we the people can put those people out of business, but
And
you
we the
have to
people aren't.
understand why you're putting them out of business.
Well,
The last time I saw
just
we
like-
the people do anything.
Just like we can affect the businesses that are requiring people to have the vaccination.
No, way to bring it
Getting-
back around there.
You know, do not use businesses that require a vaccination if you are against a vaccination.
That was good, Captain Trek. That was really good. The way you brought that back around.
I forgot the original topic was this vaccination. Everybody needs their Visine.
No, we're calling it a vaccination. We're not going to. No. We're not doing the safety thing. Fuck that.
I don't want your channel
COVID-19.
deleted. You already got the tag on your show right now. You know that, right?
Oh, I know. It was on there before I even started.
It was there before. I know. Yeah, I know. That was on
and
there.
and
Careful.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. The funny thing is, I provide the links in the description. The links are to the CDC. So I am not giving out any information that has not been given by the CDC. They know the information.
Okay. All right. Just looking out for you there, boss.
Yeah.
Captain Trek's riding a motorcycle with no helmet on, everybody. Let's just make sure he doesn't get off the, let's just take care of that. Be careful in the chat. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's the terms and conditions
anytime
thing.
you put freaking COVID-19 in the title of your fucking video, they're gonna throw that damn banner up.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Hey, am I allowed to say the unspecified country in which the virus came from?
Yeah, I don't think you need to. I think everybody already knows that name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
I'm glad because I was waiting for Captain
maybe-
Check to say, "Screw it, say it." Don't.
No. We all know. We all know where it is. So,
Perhaps YouTube is owned in a great part by those people. Just a wild guess. I don't really know.
Well, the fact that
All right.
a lot of our stuff is owned by them, wouldn't be a surprise.
Hey, Cap, I gotta step down for a minute though, guys. Have fun with your Visine chat. If you guys trigger me again, I'll pop in and liven it up a little bit. But sorry, no offense, you guys. I love you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, Nina. Love ya. See you guys.
Bye.
No worries,
All right.
man. No worries.
I love you guys. All right, bye.
It's funny because I'm sure that I'm going to lose even more subscribers after having this stream, and I don't give a shit.
Maybe.
I don't care because, quite honestly, I'm doing what I want to do, and that's it. People come, people watch, or not.
Right. All of the above. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. That's what I was saying to Jedi Bill last night. It was like, okay, I don't care. I mean, you want to quit. You don't want to quit, don't quit. I just don't care. But he needs constant veneration. So I did that for him last night. But the thing is, in this case, right, the virus and the vaccine and all that, I feel like they are trying to take away my right to say no.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's what they are trying to do.
But I do have the right to say no. The only reason I'm not worried about it, and I have not caved to the political pressure, is because I don't actually need to get a job. It would make a lot of things a lot easier for me, but I don't actually need to get a job, so I'm not caving
Right.
to the pressure, period.
And hey,
I mean,
JJ,
Hey, Kevin. How's everybody doing?
all right.
Okay.
doing okay.
Another glorious day, JJ.
Yeah. No. CCDV. Other than you, unlike you, I do need to find employment. Um,
Yeah, I know. That's one of the
but
problems with
because
this kind of political
know,
nightmare is there are
Yes.
people who do need to work.
I've had and I am still currently gainfully unemployed. Um,
That's a good way to
and
say it.
I was paying the bills via a veterans assistance fund that we have around here.
Oh, good.
But that is no longer an option. So it just happened to kind of like somewhat coincide with things opening back up, and so I have I have made inquiries, and so far I have gotten turned down on those applications, but my deal, um, you know, since I am in a state with a blue governor, uh, one of my concerns is the fact that if I apply somewhere and they do accept my application, but then they say, well, uh, before you start working, we are going to require you to get the jab. I am going to have to respectfully tell them to go fuck themselves. Thank you for the opportunity, but go fuck yourself, because I am, not willing to get poked with,
No,
so that's
Right,
my
I'm just
that's
not
my
willing to
deal.
take the
It's like,
jab, and so if I'm not willing to take the jab, I have to suffer the consequences myself. And I can do that. I understand why people feel that they must go get the jab in order to get a job, because they do.
yeah, but at the same time, they've got, uh, they've got uh, ladies going out there and that have the ability to go out there and get an abortion because my body, my choice. But yet, um, those of us who don't want to get poked don't seem to have um, that excuse. It kind of
nope.
weird, isn't it? That
Again, we're not
my body,
getting.
my choice works in one way, but not the other.
I don't think we're supposed to get political, but again, you're talking about the welfare state, which uh, just the mindset of give me everything for free, don't
Yeah.
work for
Yeah.
it.
Well, we
Yeah.
can't really help. We can't really help but get political,
Oh,
because
that's why I didn't even
it
bother with the no politics thing. This is yeah.
it's in, well, it's in everything. It's in everything now. So we can't you can't really get around not getting somewhat political in just about every conversation these days.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, and that's one of the problems.
that's how the establishment has freaking made it for us.
Unfortunately, that is the case. Yeah, and I feel sad about that, of course, because I think that's the dumbest thing ever. Like, really? It's just gotten to the point where well, it got to that point a long time ago while I was, or just shortly after I came back from Iraq the third time. and I was watching Fox News, which was supposed to be my news, you know. And they said something, and I just went, I'm done. Fuck it. I'm not watching news or reading newspapers or anything like that anymore, ever. I don't have to because people around me are constantly telling me what's going on. I'm like, okay. Bummer for you, not for me.
Right. Well, you know, and the thing is, you know, there's a lot, you know, there's a lot of options these days. I mean, there's people on freaking YouTube, right? You know, just your average Joe Schmo that has more reliable information than 99% of the freaking mainstream media.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
It's kind of sad, really.
and you know, like me personally, I you know, like I'll play some, you know, I'll play some Fox News videos, but you know, I will listen, you know, I will click on a freaking CNN video or an MSNBC video just to see what they got to say, because it's always good, you know, it's always good to study the opposition, right? It's you know,
Agreed. It's a good idea to study if you're interested, and I'm not. So I'm just done.
But I mean, like I'll watch, you know, you know, the Daily Wire people. I'll watch Steven Crowder, Mark Dice, and
you know what's really funny that you say
Ripa.
that.
Everybody, I'm sure everybody here knows about Young Ripa, right?
No.
Oh, dude,
I just think it's funny that you say that because my favorite newscaster ever was Jon Stewart on The Daily Show. Which is just ridiculous because it was intended to be a comedy, right?
Dude, right, yeah.
But I got better news from Jon Stewart than I did from any of the three major networks.
Yeah.
And the
So,
thing
JJ,
about
what's
Jon
up?
Stewart,
Well, I was listening to what you guys were having to say, and the whole thing about the vaccination is, you know, about basically you need to prove you've been vaccinated to travel, to work. You know, they're requiring this of you, and as far as the company aspect of it, let's take a trip in the Wayback Machine. I don't know, 15, 20 years, if not longer.
Right.
People, jobs requiring you to get drug tested before you become employed.
Right.
This is the same thing. It's company preference. It's not. I don't believe there's a political agenda behind that particular piece of this information, because it's always been company preference. If they want their people to work, they have to have the jab. I don't think it's right. I don't believe it's. I don't believe it should be that way, because we as a people should have that choice. Me personally, I'm not going to get stuck. I've got too much shit wrong with me already. I'm not about to go add more to it. You know, when I go out in public, I wear a mask. I try to do my part, whether I like it or not. Whether the masks help or not, I like to believe I'm doing my part.
Right.
You know, you can't make me do anything.
No.
Because in the state of
JJ's uncooperative.
In the state of Florida.
You want to bet?
Sorry.
No, in the state of Florida, marijuana is medically legal. It is not recreational legal. But guess what? I smoke the shit anyway. Guess what? I've got a couple of guns. They're not licensed. Okay? And anybody that says they're going to come take my shit from me, they'll never find them. And the same way with this vaccine. They can come door to door, but you're going to have to get through my pistol to get to me.
Yeah.
They're not going to make me do anything.
I understand the concept of ring immunization. I do. It's just that you're not going to do it to me. Period.
Trust me,
Not with this.
I take shots already 2 to 3 times a day. I don't need to be stuck again for no real reason. Okay, yeah, this disease is a real reason, but it's just like the flu vaccination. You can't make people get vaccinated for the flu.
Well,
so what makes this any different?
The flu is a bigger killer than this COVID. That's the thing, is that people are not putting out there. The flu kills more people than this COVID virus has.
I know that. I know that. About 6 to 8 months ago, I saw some statistics that, okay, COVID at the time killed 0.5% or 0.05% of the U.S. population. The flu was 0.08%, I think it was. And
I think it was something like that.
The Spanish flu or the Spanish fever, whatever the hell it was, 2%. Okay, so yeah, COVID is still low on the list. Granted, yes, regrettably, a lot of people have lost their lives over it. People are continuing to lose their lives over it. But it's a disease, just like any other. There's there's ways to beat it. There's ways to get around it. Here in Florida, we went in lockdown early January, late February last year. Okay, and we didn't last the whole year. Okay, we decided to use our common sense. Wear our masks, stay distanced. To me, they said, hey, stay at least 6 foot apart from one another. Well, me personally, that's not far enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a matter of each individual person. If you choose to go out and you haven't been vaccinated, even if you've been vaccinated, because there's people catching COVID that's already had the shot, already had their doses.
Correct.
Yep.
Wear your mask. Why, Miss Nina?
Because they're testing it. It's not quite, I don't know how to say it. I wish my sister was here. She's better at this than I am. But they're not through testing it, and the people are the guinea pigs.
Exactly.
Yeah,
a viable vaccine minimally is 5 to 10 years.
Correct.
Yeah.
After research and testing and stuff. Okay, they're using the world as their guinea pig.
And there's 0.01% of people who have reactions to approved vaccines.
Yes.
You know what the number is for people who have gotten the vaccine who have had bad reactions?
A lot.
7%. Not 0.07.
No,
7%. That's
still
worse than the disease.
Right, that is worse than the disease, but in their eyes, as a whole, that's a relatively low number. That's acceptable losses to them.
I know, but it's not acceptable to the families who have to go through the pain of watching their family members in the hospital because they got the freaking vaccine.
Okay.
Look, it's 1,000 times. I
agree.
The disease is killing 0.05 people. And the
correct.
cure is killing 7% of the people. That's 1,000 times worse than the disease.
I agree, Mr. CCDV,
Okay,
but you gotta look.
those are completely fake numbers. If 7% of people who were getting the vaccine were dying, there would be bodies.
I'm sorry, I did say dying. I apologize. I
sorry.
meant hospitalized.
Okay.
I apologize. I did say the wrong thing.
I agree, Mr. CCDV, but listen, there's 2 words that I just said that shouldn't be okay with anyone, and that's acceptable losses.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's gonna have to be some.
I understand that.
Then nobody. You don't attempt to do any type of vaccine for 10 years. and just
my
let
entire
millions die.
adult
that
life was all about
billions
trying
will
to
not
limit
die.
collateral damage, which is the same thing. So yes, there is going to be acceptable losses, collateral damage, but it was just rushed through too quickly to make people feel safe, and I don't think that's a good thing.
No, it's not.
You
No,
know,
it's been
What should have happened is this is a very bad disease, and if you get it, go to the hospital right away. But we're working on a vaccine. If you get it, chances are you'll live through it. If you don't, I'm sorry. That's an
You
acceptable
don't
loss.
understand. At the beginning, when this started, you couldn't go to the hospital because the hospitals were going to be full.
True. That's not the case now, though, is it?
No, it's not, but that's
The
because of
scare
the
tactics, the
that
scare
were
tactics
taken.
that were used at the beginning
Yes.
were unconscionable. Unconscionable. The
they
scare
were.
tactics that were used.
some hospitals didn't have room, but a lot of them did.
That's
So,
correct.
and and as far as like say like all the social distancing bullshit, okay, that's exactly what it was and is, because you can cough, you can breathe, you know, further than 6 fucking feet, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they just grabbed a number out of the fucking air and was like, okay, you need to stand this far apart.
They took a
When
number that was
when you can project
effective
something out of
for
your mouth further than
the
that,
majority of the time.
Effective to make people feel
Sure,
better, and
12 feet would have been better, but 12 feet
may have
isn't
been
as
effective
practical as
at the
6.
time. Yes.
And
I
you
don't.
know, you
It's just
know,
I don't like being forced to do something. That's all.
no, neither do I. I don't know who does.
yep. I don't because during our lockdowns last year, you know what I did? I got in my car and I went for a ride. They can't stop me from doing that.
Man, I went all over the place. I went to California. I went down to Phoenix. I went to
Yeah,
my bar. The bar
they
didn't
can't.
close down.
They can't stop me from going out and getting a breath of fresh air, and that's exactly what I did. And if I happen to get stopped, where are you going? Well, I'm going from point A to point B. They have no way to prove if I'm doing that or not. They can't stop me from doing anything. Okay, now if it's within reasonable,
they can, but
if it's within reasonable boundaries, then I'm not going to do it because I'm not stupid. But they can't stop me from getting fresh air. I know I can go into my front yard or my backyard and do that, but how long are we supposed to sit and look at our four walls?
Apparently,
I'm not saying
forever.
I'm not saying the
yes,
lockdowns aren't
that's
effective.
correct.
Hey,
I'm not saying
JJ, just be a good little boy and do what they tell you.
Yeah.
negative. I'll never do that.
You know what happens when you're bad in California? They shut down everything. That's what they did with
they're working on it
California.
again. They're working on it again because they're
Oh, I'm sure they are.
starting to implement the mask mandate again in California.
They've got what that beta thing, right? Where
The
they're like,
Delta
oh
variant.
no,
Delta.
there's a Delta
The Delta
variant
variant.
now.
Well,
Your vaccine is useless.
right.
Come into the hospital. You know what?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
done with
kinda
this shit.
convenient.
Yeah.
It's kind of convenient that the Delta variant came out shortly after they decided
Everything
to
was
open
opened
everything
back up.
up.
Yeah. I wonder who's behind that. I'm not going to say any specified country.
But I mean, as far as somebody, as far as them forcing you to do something you don't want to do, okay, that's when the only reason I have I got two masks that were given to me, right? That's the only reason I have
You got it.
any mask is because I had some given to me, right? And the only time I wear them is for me to be able to go into a fucking grocery store, or or the Dollar Tree or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because and so I the only time I've ever worn a mask was out of force, not out of fear.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And as soon as I walk out of the
And-
store, I take the mask off. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And people look at me weird for taking my mask off.
And
Like,
but,
what the hell is wrong
my
with
deal,
you?
My deal is, like I know, I've had conversations with somebody else, and they're like, I've never put one on. He's like, I go in the store and nobody says a damn thing to me. And it's like, yeah, well, probably just because you're like a big burly dude, and they're too scared to say anything to you.
No, I went into stores without a mask. I can't breathe with them.
Right.
Well, that's the thing is, if your store personnel are trained properly, they're not actually allowed to require you.
Yeah. Well, the thing
Even
is,
though the signs on the door say you can't come in without a mask,
right,
they're not legally requiring you, because it's a statute, not a statute. It's not a statute. It's a recommendation, not a statute. That's what I meant.
No, there's signs on.
There are states, yes. California is an
that
example.
Says you have to have a mask in order to enter this building.
Yeah.
Yes. But again, in most states, that is a not a requirement, a request, not a statute. So you cannot even get the police called on you if you walk into a place without a mask on.
It's
Now,
funny you say that.
I do it because I don't want to be bothered, and there are Karens out there who will bother you if you don't have your mask on.
I was gonna say that's pretty much the reason that I didn't, because I mean, I would be totally fine with just walking in somewhere, and without putting a freaking mask on.
Right.
But I don't feel like being freaking followed around by a fucking Karen or fucking, whatever the male equivalent is. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys saw this video, but there's a video of this lady in a Walmart who's being followed around by this older dude in a fucking, and like, why you need to put your mask on? Why don't you got your mask? This dude is getting like uncomfortably close, to this lady, fucking, just browbeating her because she didn't have a fucking mask on, right? And so I mean that's the reason why I, chose to go ahead and comply with the freaking mask thing, is to save myself the trouble of being harassed by somebody who's paranoid.
That may be one of our problems here in the United States is, we have the example of the 1920s in Soviet Russia, right? Where you were encouraged and actually told you were unpatriotic if you did not report people who were against the Communist Party, right?
Right.
And that's the example that we have to go on. It's not the only example, but it is an example that we have to go on. And right now, what's happening, the draconian measures that are being taken here, they're not law. You are aware that most of these recommendations are not laws. But I don't want to be bothered. So instead of, protesting or anything like that, I just wear the mask because it's easier.
Now, what were you going to say, JJ? I'm sorry.
No. It's all right. It's just there's a lot of this stuff going around that misinformation, bad stories. And I've learned a long time ago. All right, I watch the news for one reason and one reason alone, and that's the weather. But every once in a while, I'll watch it to find out what information is being circled about. And there's one thing everybody's got to remember. If you watch the news or not, okay, don't ever believe what they tell you. It's never the whole story. Go do your own investigating. Go find your own answers.
I'm
and that's
sorry.
a shame
Can you guys
that
hear me frying the taco shells? I'll mute myself.
It's all right. I just heard a little bit of popping. It's already making me more hungrier than I already am.
Sorry about that.
But it's a shame that we as a people have to find our own answers, but that's what it's came to. Yes. You know, you've got the SJWs, you've got the people out there, you know, hey, the BLMs, the everybody, you know, it's, you know, we're at a time in our lives that we should be past all of this. You know, it's 2021. We as a people should be farther along than what we are. And we ain't doing nothing but backpedaling. And this is just another step in that backpedaling.
Yeah.
Right. And again, you know, like I said, the times that I've wore a mask is because I didn't, you know, we are living in the time of World War II era Germany fucking brown shirts, okay?
Well, no.
Of neighbor, you know, neighbor knocking on neighbor and shit like that.
But that was not the. Okay, fair enough. You're right. Okay, I'll give you that. But
it's that same style of
yeah, it's the same thing. You know, communism, fascism, whatever the case may be. The pig who stands up and wears clothes is the one making the rules, and the Orwellians are just following along with it.
You know, we've
I
had
don't
enough.
want to call them Orwellians because Orwell was railing against that, but
well, then here's the best thing to call them sheeple. They're stupid sheeple who will listen to anybody, and well, okay, well, you say we're supposed to do this. No.
Even though your common sense tells you that it's ridiculous.
You know, they will take somebody else. Like when I went into the doctor's office after all this shit started, they didn't have videos before, by the way. Put in new TVs, and they had TV shows on, which was cool. Now all they play are videos. They have these. It's like, the COVID-19 vaccine and how blah blah
especially
blah. And it's all bullshit.
You guys have seen that commercial with the doctor who comes on and says, "Okay, you need to wash your hands and get a clean mask, and then wash your hands again, and then put it on your face, and then wash your hands again, and then take it off your face and wash your hands again." Like, are you kidding me? Are you really making that a thing right now? I mean, come on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I just said, it's 2021. If you have to be told to wash your hands, you're fucking nasty.
Yep.
Now, okay, fair enough to give credit where credit is due. In a lot of nations around the world, it is still okay to do your business in a hole and not wash your hands when you walk out. But America, I do not believe even in the ruralist parts of America is that way. Now, I may be mistaken. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that in America, it's pretty common to wash your hands when you go to the bathroom.
It is, but not everybody does it. That's what I'm saying. You're fucking nasty. All right. You know, and I understand the joke I was told not too long ago, actually, and you know, about I can't remember which branch it was, so I'm just going to throw two out there. You know.
No, I know the joke you're going to tell.
yeah, you know, Mr. CCTV. You know, I was taught not to piss on my hands. You know, it's
right. And the army guy turns and says, Oh no, it was the Marine walks to the sink and he says, I was taught to wash my hands every time. And the Army guy turns around and goes, I was taught not to piss on my hands. That's what it was.
It's, yeah, you know, and it's sad that it has to be broken down into a joke, but still, you're going to use the bathroom, you're getting rid of human waste. I don't care if you're taking a dump or taking a piss, you wash your hands.
Yeah.
It's sanitary.
Look, I don't know about women because I'm not a woman, right? But men, hello, we're on the panel. How many times do you touch yourself during the day? I'm not talking about just when you go Jaloja. How many times do you touch yourself during the day? How many times do you adjust yourself when you're wearing jeans?
And you're not constantly washing your hands, and yet you're
exactly.
Yet you're you're fine. You know, you're not coming down with a fucking ailment because you didn't wash your hands 50,000 times. You know.
I'm not saying I am not advocating not washing your hands. I do. Even at home, I wash my hands before I walk out of the bathroom. But there are people out there who really, truly believe that if you're standing up to pee, you don't have to wash your hands. There are women out there who believe that if you're sitting down to pee, you only have to rinse your hands. All right? There's soap there for a reason.
I'm sorry. It's bodily waste. Waste. You don't want it on your hands.
Like I said, there's soap there for a reason.
You know, it's not difficult to turn on the water, pump out a little soap, put it on your hands, rub them around for the 30 seconds, wash them under the water, use a clean towel, dry off your hands. It's not that long a process. And you still have people that go to a public bathroom. They'll walk right from the stall, right from the urinal, and walk right off the door.
How many public spaces do you touch when you're out doing errands in a day, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You are obviously touching surfaces that have not been sanitized. And I'm not advocating that you should not wash your hands. I'm saying that you do it all day, every day, regardless. You're not wearing a pair of nitrile gloves every single time that you go to a public place. You're not, period. Our immune systems are there for a reason, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Even though mine is attacking myself, but, you know, whatever. There are issues with that. I have a disease. But most people's immune systems handle it just fine. Oh, I still got the fire on high. There you go. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm making tostadas for dinner. You guys like tostadas?
I love tostadas.
Well, I'm not waiting 5 hours for you to get here to serve you some.
And why not?
It's a gluten-free, dairy-free meal.
Gluten-free.
I can do it in my sleep. Anyway, no, the whole point is I am not saying don't wash your hands. I'm not saying don't sanitize your hands. I'm just saying our immune systems are there for a reason.
Yes.
Now, for some reason, other people are not able to handle a certain virus. And nobody knows why. Even the scientists still do not know why. There are certain people out there who cannot handle a virus, right? People die of the flu every year. The flu's been around for 8,000 years.
Yes.
or longer, probably longer, but written records only go back 8,000 years, right? So what are you going to do? You get the flu, you either get better or you die. COVID is not any different. You either get better or you die, and I'm sorry that has to be the way, but it has to be the way. But making these requirements, you are required to get a vaccination in order to make money, in order to keep your house or your car or whatever the case may be. This is absolutely control. This has nothing to do with health. This has everything to do with control.
I agree.
They want to control every aspect of your life.
Yes,
that's what this is about.
They want to take away your freedom.
And there are people who are standing up and saying,
"We've had enough."
Well, no, you have people that are willing to do it, but you've got other people like myself who say, "No, I've had more than enough. Fuck you."
Yeah.
Which is why your video is flagged. I'm actually shocked that we're still live on YouTube.
It was flagged before I started, and I didn't care. My whole point, because if you see in the description, I posted things that were on the CDC's website. Okay? I didn't make up shit. Okay? I put links in the description that are directly to the CDC website. So if they want to put this little warning that goes to the same place, fine.
It's getting ridiculous.
Well, it's been ridiculous for a while. It's just that folks like us are paying attention to it now.
It's about time people pay attention.
I agree, Nina. I do. It's just that we have not been paying attention. Like I said, the very first time I caught wind of what was going on with stuff in America was when they required motorcycle riders to wear a helmet. Now, were people in California wearing helmets? Of course they were. Naturally. Anyone with a brain wants to protect their brain, so they wore a helmet. But California made it into a law.
Yes.
So that was wrong.
Well, there's a lot of stupid laws around.
Agreed. Agreed. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think they use it as a joke now, but at the time, 20 years ago, it was a joke that a man was required to take his cloak off and throw it over a puddle for a lady to step through. If I'm not mistaken, that was 20 years ago. I don't think they've taken it off the books, so don't go to London wearing a cloak. Just saying. You'll be required to take it off if there's ever a puddle.
Still exist, and they won't do shit about it. But but my whole point is, honestly, stay informed. Don't trust the media.
No.
They're biased.
Oh, absolutely. They're biased one way or the other. That's how they make their money.
So if you're going to watch the media, watch both sides. Get some well-balanced information. Do proper research. Just because, YouTube puts this promotional video up giving you the facts does not mean that it's unbiased.
I know. Bird called me out earlier, right? As far as my research is concerned, and I did use wrong wording, so I apologize for that. I did use wrong wording. 7% of the people getting the vaccination have been hospitalized.
And
now
see,
that's the research that I looked up.
Okay, see, that one I question, because you've not given the facts. You've not given the source material
I
on
can't
that.
cite anything because I'm cooking right now. I mean, I may be mistaken. I may be remembering it wrong. But if I believe correctly, it was somewhere near the order of 1,000%. Now that's deaths versus hospitalizations. So I may be mistaken, and I apologize if I am. But it certainly seems to me that I've had a lot more relatives and friends hospitalized after getting the vaccine than they ever were with the COVID virus.
And welcome back, Shabak.
Yeah, I got away from Big Brother. You know, they tried to get me, but you know, I said fuck you, and I kicked them in the balls, and I'm back.
Well, the important thing is, did you have fun doing it?
Oh yeah,
exactly. You got to have fun.
I mean, as long as I'm not the one getting kicked in the balls, it's always fun.
But anyway, listen, guys, my dinner's ready. I got a dip. But thank you for letting me come up.
Absolutely,
Captain.
JJ, anytime.
And I want to say this because I caught you with your camera on. It was a pleasure to finally meet you. Face to face.
Yeah, absolutely, Captain Tech.
Which really
floored
me when I saw
it.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But anyway, take care, everyone. I'll talk to most of y'all soon. Take care.
Absolutely.
All right, later.
Bye.
No, and I would like to thank everyone who's watched, because this has been an unusual stream, you know, and I appreciate you watching. Go ahead, Shabak. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're good. But I do though remember seeing something. I don't know about the Delta, but I did see something in relation to the first the first COVID shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone on the face of the planet had a 94 to 99% chance of survivability against COVID.
Correct.
Right. But yet they're, the media, the mainstream media is, made it out to be the worst thing ever.
Right.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but anything with a 90-some% survivability rate is not, it's not a freaking, it's a pandemic in name only, and the only reason it's a pandemic.
Do you not understand
because
that we've not had
worldwide.
anything that's 2% deadly in 100 years?
Okay.
We have not had any disease with a 2% mortality rate in over 100 years since the Spanish flu.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is end of the world type stuff. Okay. It was overwhelming our hospitals. It was overwhelming our cemeteries, our death care facilities. New York City had U-Hauls parked in front of funeral homes to take the extra bodies because they literally couldn't fit the bodies into the funeral homes.
Right.
It was unprecedented amount of death.
Right. But we've also, there's also been reports, and I don't have, you know, I don't have everything on a damn freaking file to throw up on the screen right now, but there were reports of quite a bit of basically false reports. You know, like somebody would die of one thing,
regardless of
And
what
it
it
would be
went
they would
down
call it a
reported
as.
as
fucking
COVID. Yeah,
death
it doesn't
because
matter.
people
It
were
was
getting
proven that
Regardless.
they
paid.
had COVID, so
Okay.
call it a death
Re-
report for COVID.
If
That's
they call
fine.
it,
regardless of how it was
they get more
counted, whether it
money
was
if they report it
COVID
as a
or
COVID
not,
death.
That is a conspiracy
it
that has
doesn't
never been
change the
proven.
fact that we saw without any other explanation an incredible rise in the death rate in New York City when the pandemic hit. Okay, people were dying left and right far more than they would normally in any other case. And you started with the logic that something has a 98% survival rate is not the worst thing in the world. Well, yes, it honestly is the worst thing medically in the world because we haven't had anything, any type of pandemic that killed 2% of the population in
But
our lifetimes.
right,
That is true. As a
but
matter of
we've had
fact,
things that
I
have
would like
killed more
to
people in the
Shellback,
meantime.
if you would give me a moment, please. There was what 10 years ago, 15 years ago, something like
The
that.
swine flu.
The SARS epidemic,
Yeah,
right?
the swine flu.
Right, and that came from the same source country that this one came from, but doesn't matter. Anyway, it was SARS throughout the entire world. It was. And then when it crossed from Canada into the United States, it became MARS. Do you think the virus got less effective when it got into the United States?
It burned itself out.
Okay. Have you played that game where you try to cover the world in viruses? Has the United States ever been more resistant to the viruses that you release on that game?
Are you talking about Plague Inc.?
I've never played it, but yeah, I know other
I've
people
not played
have.
it either. But regardless of what a game might or might not, it, the swine flu
I know,
was
but that's the whole
affecting
point
younger,
is
healthier people worse than older people.
versus the middle-aged people like us.
the
Go ahead,
the
Shellback.
the thing is though, if it was as bad as what the freaking media is trying to fucking feed us, we would see freaking bodies littering the streets everywhere, and it just ain't so.
Maybe it's not so because of the precautions that were taken.
No,
No,
Okay, the masks that I was given, okay, are fucking cloth masks, okay? They're not gonna stop shit. Okay.
they're not designed.
But yet they permit me to go to all these places where masks are required because it's a fucking optics game.
No,
It's fucking optics, dude.
the cloth mask isn't supposed to prevent virus particles from entering your system. It's supposed to prevent droplets of water from being sprayed across the room when you speak or sneeze. And it does that effectively.
No, it's
Yes, it does.
the freaking the damn what do you call it? The size of the fucking virus molecules or whatever
The virus is
can
tiny.
still get through that shit.
Yes, but the virus can't live in the air. The virus lives on water droplets.
And
So
let's
water
just, okay, let's just
droplets
go
are
to
bigger
straight. Let's just go
than the
straight to the
cloth.
fucking thing of people have been wearing masks. Okay, people have been wearing masks, and people have still been getting sick. Right?
Yes, it's not 100%
so they're like,
effective.
oh well, now put 2 masks on, put 3 masks on. Dude, they're freaking talking out of their asses. Okay. Like I said before, the only reason I wear a fucking mask is because there's a damn sign on the fucking door of the building that says I need to, or else I'm gonna have somebody, a fucking Karen on my ass telling me that I need to fucking leave the damn building, until I fucking
whatever
until
the
I
reason
comply
you're
like a
wearing
good
it,
little boy.
you should be grateful because it is lowering the amount of deaths.
Dude, it's not doing shit. I'm sorry,
You
you're not
have
gonna be able
no
to convince me.
based on what?
Huh?
What are you
It's
basing
not
your claim on?
common sense,
No.
basic science.
You're basing it on the bullshit that has been sold to you by the
No,
media,
no,
and the fact that
Captain.
I'm sorry to say this, you live scared. Period. If there's something that comes out, you get scared, and you go for the safest option. Now, is that a good choice for you? Yes. Does that mean it's a good choice for everybody else? No. Should you have people masked in your own home? That's your right. It's your home. But to say for everybody else who doesn't go in your home or doesn't have any contact with you should have to live under the same restrictions?
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm sorry. That
I'm
your
sorry.
ideas are ridiculous.
The main
It doesn't
science
make sense. And I did put the link in the chat because what's it? Phantasms found a link. I am not saying that this is accurate information. I'm simply saying it is information that has been provided, and it is out there on the net. Now, I would suggest finding a better source, personally. But if one source has it, there's going to be more. Look for it.
Fauci has fucking flip-flopped so many damn times, it's given me fucking whiplash.
No, Fauci's not a great person to listen to.
And he's like, yeah, but dude, he's the fucking one in charge. He's the one that the government has put in fucking charge. And he said, you don't need to wear a mask. You need to wear a mask. You don't need to wear a mask. You need to wear a mask. I mean, like, seriously, it's...
Okay, well, he said the reason
he's been
he told
more than
people
a
not
fucking
to wear a
Whopper,
mask
okay?
initially was because he didn't want them to run on all the masks and take them away from the first responders who needed them more, which is a shitty thing to do. But I understand the logic. But yeah, it was shitty.
And I don't want anybody to, I don't want to be anybody to be under the
Dr.
impression that I'm
Fauci
like
being an asshole doesn't change common sense and basic science.
The science, though. Even the fucking scientists don't know the fucking science.
That sentence literally makes no sense.
Yeah,
there are different scientists arguing over the same point.
Look on the fucking
scientists
TV.
argue about shit all the time.
Look at the fucking TV. That's what I'm talking about. You got people. The Fauci, the fucking CDC, the WHO, whatever. They're all like fucking contradicting themselves.
They all
constantly.
have different data. The data changes and they update their predictions, their models, their whatever.
But yet they're gonna fucking force me and you to comply with certain rules. When
it's the best they have at the time.
It's I don't know. I just like I said, the only time I've put a fucking mask on my face is when I had to go into a damn grocery store or a department store or whatever, right? And the rest of the time I have not, you know. And
Okay. Well, you've
so,
done the minimum
I've
you
been around
required to doing.
people. I've been around people, and yet, here I am. I haven't gotten sick. Okay, so it's it's a fucking, it's just a bunch of fucking fear porn going through society, dude. I'm sorry.
Well, if you had gotten sick, then it would have not be fear porn.
All right. Here's the thing. This virus, it's not fake. It's not fake. It's real. But it's just real enough. Okay, it is just real enough for people to be buying into the fucking paranoia. Okay, if I got, I'm if I got it, I got it. I don't know. I mean, I haven't. I've had a couple of coughing spurts here and there. Over the last year and a half. So who knows? Maybe I did get it. Who knows? I don't know. But I haven't. I haven't come knocking on freaking death's door. So this thing is not the fucking plague that it's being sold out to be. That's like
you
my main
actually
point
are
right
sick
there.
and dying of it.
Huh?
Unless you're sick and dying of it, then it is.
What?
No.
Like I said, in this, the sick and dying thing, most people that have died from this thing had something else already. It just the freaking coof.
Half
the
the
coof just
people in the
helped it
world have
along.
something else already.
The majority of deaths out there, people had something else wrong with them to begin with. Okay, so it wasn't it wasn't really the coof that killed them. It was whatever they had, and the coof made it worse, and then they died of that. But yet they still recorded it as a COVID death because look, they've got COVID. It must be a COVID death. That's why the numbers are the way they are. The numbers are not totally legit. They're not. But yet, that's what gets sold to us, by the politicians and the mainstream media. 500,000 people died. Stay in your homes and be worried. And it's like, people fucking die of all kinds of shit every fucking day. And we never made a big fucking deal about it. So, and I'm sorry, but this thing is so fucking political. It's ridiculous. And that's what it really boils down to. Is this is a fucking political tool that's being used, and all these fucking lockdowns and everything else the people that are fucking locking us down don't give two shits about whether you fucking live or die. It's a fucking control issue, just like freaking CCDV was saying.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
You know how California's got a really bad homeless problem right now?
Yep.
You want to explain to me why in a pandemic that's supposedly so transmissible and dangerous, why all of these homeless people in LA and San Francisco and elsewhere aren't just like piling up dead in the streets? I mean, they're outside. They're not able to lock down. They don't have any place to retreat to. They don't have access to proper sanitation facilities and everything. They're dirty, right? They're dirty.
Yeah.
A lot of them carry diseases already. And why aren't we seeing like burn piles for the
People
homeless
generally
all
keep
over the
their
place?
distance
I mean, because
from
there should be so many corpses lining up
homeless
on the
people.
street that there should be burn piles because there are so many. And I'm wondering, why are there not piles of dead homeless people if this thing is so dangerous that we have to lock ourselves down?
Well,
People
also,
generally keep their distance from homeless, smelly people.
all right. Well, then why have they prohibited people from going to church because this thing is so fucking deadly, but yet people were allowed to protest and burn down cities all last year.
Yeah, it's garbage, man. It's double standard bullshit.
That's what it is.
Well, for lack of, don't get me wrong, I don't like that they let people protest, but not do other things. But one takes place indoors, where you're literally shoulder to shoulder, and the other is outdoor with more room between people.
With people shoulder to shoulder. Did you not see the same? Apparently, you didn't see the same freaking news video that I saw.
I
with,
know
with
that
people,
the news
with people
takes
walking right side by
video
side of each other.
of the
Yet,
people in the
yeah.
biggest crowds, and they don't pan over to where it's less crowded because they want to show
Yeah.
the most
But
people on TV.
again, all of those people were not 6 feet or greater
No,
apart.
they weren't all 6 feet apart. But
So
again, you're seeing the worst
like
of the worst, how
like I
it looks
said,
from what's on TV.
like I said, this thing is supposed to be like, well, transmitted by fucking, spit, air, breathing on each other, whatever. But yet it can only seem to, it can only seem to fucking find you and infect you when you're inside. That's bullshit.
Well, no, it's not, because indoor air is recirculated. Outdoor air is
Dude, I live
much more.
okay. I live in the fucking state of Washington, okay, and the apartment that I live in is not air conditioned because it does. They don't believe in fucking air conditioners up here, okay, because it really doesn't get that hot for that long, for them to install central fucking air conditioning in these places, right? Some, if you want air conditioning, you have to go get yourself a little window unit, right? But my windows, okay, I've got one window in the kitchen, one window in the bedroom, and a big sliding like balcony door, right? All three, at least two of those, the two windows and sometimes even the door, are open just almost constantly. So
Okay,
I am
well, you have good
basically
air circulation.
I am basically outside, okay? So there are a lot of places around here that are in the same situation, right? It's not, and even if it okay, recirculated air, right? Air conditioning systems have filters, okay?
Yeah, but
Like
filters.
fucking HEPA filters and shit like that, okay? So if
Very few.
anything, filtered air is cleaner
Very few
after it's gone through
industrial places
an
use
air
HEPA
conditioning
filters.
system than it is outside.
HEPA filters are mandated for maybe hospitals. They're not really in use in general buildings, not used in movie
Dude,
theaters.
they've got fucking
There's no HEPA filters in movie theaters, no HEPA filters in your church.
They've got these damn filters in your fucking car, dude. Okay, they
don't have a HEPA
any
filter
air
in your
conditioning
car. No,
system
they
has
do.
a fucking filter that will filter this
Unless
fucking
you've
shit.
changed the HEPA filter in your car, they don't. And I've had several cars. Never once was there a filter I had to change in my car. So there was never a car I had that had a HEPA filter. HEPA filters last maybe 6 months, a year tops.
Right.
So I've never seen a car where they said change your air filter.
You should.
I mean, there's the filter for the air that goes into the engine.
Yeah.
But that's not the air that goes into the
there's also
passenger cabin.
Yeah, there's also filters, especially in your modern day vehicles, there are filters on the air conditioning system, and that they should be changed periodically.
I've never seen that.
But the point is, about even whether it be a building or a car or whatever, they're not totally always cut off from the outside. There's a door that you have to walk through, and guess what?
I'm not
Air
saying
from
they're
the outside
cut off
is going to come in
completely, and I'm sure some places have better circulation than others, like your apartment. But in general, being in an open air, in the street is a lot more circulation and fresh air than you're going to have in a church.
And if there's more circulation, shouldn't that be more conducive to a fucking virus being transported from place to place?
No.
No? Why not?
No, because it's taking it out and away, and it dies.
It's taking it out and away from one place, but it's taking it to another.
It doesn't survive long.
Well, apparently it's survived long enough to make all these people sick. So, which is it? It's not going to survive long, or it's going to cause us to be in a fucking state of, in and out of lockdowns
You're
for
purposely ignoring
2 years.
half of what I say.
You can't
You're
have both,
purposely
dude.
just ignoring clearly logical facts. If you don't want
The clearly logical fact is I've
fine.
been here, there, and everywhere, and only putting a fucking mask on my face in order to walk into a damn
you keep saying
grocery
that.
store.
You want a cookie
and
for
I'm
it?
just
I don't-
fine. Huh?
So you're saying that if you had gotten sick, you would have changed your mind? Like,
No, I'm
what's the
saying if
purpose of
I've
you
gotten
keep
sick,
saying
I
it?
don't know it.
Well, okay. So let's assume you didn't get sick. So the fuck what? What does that have to do with anything?
If I have come down with any flu-like symptoms, all right, and now I'm all better. Okay.
All right. I think the noisiest part of my cooking is over.
Flu. I got some sort of the fucking flu.
Really,
but
viri. Okay, going back to the previous topic, viri do have a certain life expectancy on certain surfaces, right? So, in the open, with sunlight and fresh air, viri don't last long. Indoors, on doorknobs and things like that, where there's air conditioning, viri live for 6, 8, 10 hours, something like that. And then they find a host. Now, okay, I understand your point. I understand your frustration. But honestly, a virus is a very bad thing. It really is. It's a very bad thing regardless. I don't think this one is as bad as other viruses that we've had in the past. That's it. That's all I want to say about that.
Based on what evidence?
Anecdotal evidence. That's all I've got. My sister had it. She was living in the house with me and my mom. I didn't get it. My mom didn't get it. We were not quarantining each other during the 2 weeks that it was incubating. I'm just saying, I don't think this is as bad as the flu, but
Okay,
that's
so
my
we should
personal opinion.
ignore all the other evidence because you and your mom didn't get it when your sister had it.
I did say that it was anecdotal and it's my opinion. I did not say that.
You did, so I'm just rephrasing it.
All right, let
That
me
Okay.
put it in a different way. All three of my great nephews at different times had COVID. Absolutely had it. There's no doubt. They still came over every day. My mom was taking care of them every day. She had physical contact with them, each of them, when they were sick. Did she come down with COVID? No. Was she masked while taking care of them? No.
was she tested?
Yes. She
Were
has
they
been tested
tested?
3 times. They were tested.
So
They
so
were
you
positive.
know so you know that okay. Well,
They were
you know
positive.
that
Absolutely.
the thing is though, you know, the test that they were using was the same test that they used for like any fucking flu. So there's that.
Look, you can pick and choose your argument, or you can pick a side and stay on it. I'm picking the side that I don't think COVID is as bad as they're telling us.
Oh, dude, you know it's not.
That's
You
the
know
side
it's
I'm
not.
picking.
You know
So,
it's not as bad as what they're trying to tell us. That's
If
why
we
I was saying that this thing has been.
but your
This
arguments
thing
have
is
to.
basically a political fucking tool that's
well,
I
being
know, but your
used on
arguments
us.
have to reflect that. You're going back and forth between the two sides.
How am I going back and forth between the two sides?
Do this, don't do that, do the other thing. I've always been about personal freedom, and I think that this is a power grab. But you are using arguments in different ways than they were ever intended.
Again, explain.
Okay, so you're not ever going to wear a mask unless you're required to. That's fine. I said the same
Right.
thing. But
And the only
I
reason I
don't
do
think.
that is to save myself the trouble from being harassed.
right.
Okay, we agree on that. I don't think the virus is as bad as it is. You agree,
Right.
as they're telling us. What else have you been arguing with Bird on?
Like, you know, it apparently this virus
Oh, the
you
open
know,
air thing and the HEPA filter thing.
it
That's what it was.
it can't seem to find you
Whew.
here, but it can find you here. You know, it just
Well, that's the thing about a virus. You
there's
never
no
know where it's
way
going to hit.
that there's no way that it's not, you know, because it has to go from you know,
And
if
remember,
if
even
it
with the
gets to you
flu,
inside, it's got to get to you from the outside. You know.
even with the flu, you have to be susceptible to it.
Okay. I am going to go ahead. I do again. I want to thank you for joining, everyone. Um, but honestly, I want to thank you for joining, and I do want to encourage everyone. Question everything. Check the facts. Trust no one source. Look for yourself. Do actual research. And we'll find out the truth when the time comes. But until then, we need to end these fucking lockdowns.
Yep, agreed. Thank you for having me on, Captain Trek. I really appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
I apologize that I was
Thank
not
you.
able to cite my sources.
Not a problem. We'll deal with that another time. Again, thank you very much, everyone who's been in chat and everyone who's been on the panel. And you have a great day.
Take care.
You too, guys.